So lately I've been trying to find this sort of balance between using AI and not using AI because honestly I've been not wanting to make videos lately a lot just because it's just not fulfilling, I guess, in a sense. I feel like I've been making a lot less stuff because I just didn't want to. And to be honest, I'm not really against using AI because there have been benefits and I do feel like it not has to be used, but I think it's okay to use it for some things because I think for me it's helped me organize my thoughts and all the information that I get, and frankly with my brain it's very messy and sometimes I just can't handle organizing all of that information, and having the AI stuff actually helps me keep it together. But there is a point where it becomes unfulfilling of sorts. And honestly, I found the last week or so just of brainstorming ideas just a problem because I didn't want to make the ideas, and frankly, I want to take a break, almost. Maybe. Probably not. I'm making this one, so yeah. So what specifically am I having issues with? Specifically? Well, a lot of the ideas that I've been coming up with, not like the last one, but like just the ones that I was planning to like make, are just not really aligned with what I want to make. And I found myself wanting to actually focus on making videos that, would do well or that made sense to do rather than because I wanted to do it. Milking content for what it's worth, like trying to get 7 ideas out of one idea and be like, hey, I can just upload tons of content now or whatever. I think because of that, it led me to using AI for everything, and whenever I've tried to one-shot or quick shot things with AI or just in general trying to it's like shortcutting, I feel it just bothered me a lot. And it's not necessarily the automation part, because a lot of times the automation part itself has propelled me to be like, oh, I can do this now. And it's still, at times it has felt right. And it's not all the instances of using AI for me that have made things unfun, because I use it for my game dev stuff, and I'm using it mostly just to have a structured idea of what I want to make. And it's helped me actually get there. Frankly, also because of my mindset has changed. But it's been a instrumentator of sorts to get me closer to making a game finally. But it certainly fed into wanting to make trying to make videos that didn't necessarily align with what I wanted to make, basically. The sort of internal perfectionism that I've had before, like throughout a lot of life and just stuff I've worked on, especially game dev, because I would get too focused on getting it to work of sorts, or having it do well or be successful or whatever, going viral. And I guess it's something that I would want to tell my past self, that it's a lot easier to do and get things done when you're not focused on the freaking end goal of doing a big thing, a successful thing. Because I ended up just tunneling on the goal itself, and so I ended up not getting anything done because it's just a lot to think about when you want to do something that goes viral or successful. It's a lot of internal pressure that prevents me from even doing it. I mean, like the actions themselves are like doable, but then it just kind of feels pointless, I guess, because like, why am I doing this then? What's the point? And maybe it's just something about me that if I don't have a strong why of why I'm doing something, it's just really hard to do things. So what am I doing differently then? Well, for example, there's a thing that I do with my language learning, because for the longest time I could not do language learning because I was so focused on the idea of being fluent and wanting to be fluent. But obviously that isn't really a great motivator, especially for someone like me who needs like a why of why I'm doing this, and also just a sustainable way of doing things. Like trying to conquer the whole forest is so hard to do rather than just chop down a single tree. So for language learning, instead of trying to aim for fluency, I just make sure that I do a lesson, an audio lesson, or I do Duolingo for a little bit, or read, just anything to get the exposure that day and just to do it. and I find that that is the most sustainable way of doing things for me. And it also comes back to like KISS, which is keep it simple, stupid, which is like don't overcomplicate the answer or the process. Just simple usually works. So it's like I basically focus on habits and just doing stuff. And I have found that lately, I mean, I still have like soft goals, like I want to be a radiology technician, I'm trying to get into radiology tech school. But for like things that are for me, especially when they're not really tied related to my future or, you know, the people in my life, the people I care about, the goals just don't work for me. Because also my goals change a lot, more often than not. So having those like systems and habits of just specific thing to do keeps it simple enough that I can do it even on a bad day, and I won't feel guilty about how much I have to do left and where I have to go. Like, just goals never worked for me. I don't know why. So if you forget anything, because this video is a bit of a ramble, I guess. I don't know, this is kind of the style I've been wanting to do more often, because frankly the videos I make, they take a lot of focus and energy into making them, instead of just the chill and more down to earth of sorts. And I think I kind of like this a bit more, like holding the mic like this and whatnot. But if you forget anything else, if goals aren't working for you, I would suggest systems or even habits. I know a lot of people talk about it, systems, especially Ali Abdaal and a lot of productivity creators. But I think even just keeping it simple, especially because we have so much to deal with in life and everything, and there's so many things we feel we need to accomplish or want to accomplish or whatever, for whatever reason, is to just think about the steps, the baby steps, and just the action to take instead of the forest of sorts. Look at the tree in front of you, basically. And I guess it also ties into the process. I feel is more important than the destination, and it's a pretty cliche phrase, I know, but I think it's worth considering that. And heck, there's always more than one way to do something. But yeah, I have no end card video I want to point to this time, because this is a very different vibe. So see you in the next video. Peace.